Hello from Gardening at Douentza here in Ireland, and today I have a little project which I thought I'd share with you, which is planting up some of my carnivorous Sarracenia. Now many of you know I grow these plants outdoors in the garden, and I want to put some of them in these fantastic planters that I got, the ones that are a little bit more tender than others, so that, well, you'll see. Okay, let's plant up some Sarracenia planters. Some time ago I managed to get my hands on these wonderful planters, and I thought they'd be just perfect for housing some of my Sarracenia. Now what I love about them is that they're really tall, look at that, and the best way, in my opinion, of displaying Sarracenia is to have them tall, so that if you've got a really tall hybrid, it can almost look you in the eye, and I think that just looks magnificent. So I got these planters. They're made of plastic, some kind of plastic, and they have no holes in them, and I thought they'd be just perfect for putting in some of the slightly more tender Sarracenia, because if I use a normal plastic pot, which fits exactly into the planter like this, and have them out all summer, then when it comes autumn and it gets a bit cooler, I can just lift this out and bring it into the greenhouse for just that bit of winter protection. And leucophylla is the one that I've had difficulty bringing through the winter outdoors, and I intend to do it with that. Now these planters have absolutely no holes in them, but actually, do you know what, that's not important, because as we said, I'm going to put these pots on the inside. So what I need to do is to block up the holes in these plastic pots, because Sarracenia need to grow in a bog situation. They need to be wet the whole time, and you're not going to achieve that if your pot has drainage holes in. So we're going to block up these holes. So I'm going to plug the holes in my pot with little bits of plastic. Now these came from a mushroom container, I think, and they are going to be just perfect for, well, just covering up those holes. So I'm going to cut them up a little bit more, just like that. I'm going to use these bits of plastic and just stick them over the holes like that. Now my glue for today, and the best glue to use when dealing with Sarracenia, is one that is good for sealing aquariums, because if it's good enough to deal with the sensitivities of fish, it's good enough to deal with the sensitivities of Sarracenia. And here we have this great big contraction with with the aquarium glue, and what I'm going to do is just pull a little bit around every hole, see, like that, and then I'm just going to put the bit of plastic over it like that. So just going around, surrounding the holes with aquarium glue. Note that I have a brown aquarium glue. It's much more expensive to get a clear one, but I don't need a clear one. You're not going to see this. So here's my bit of plastic on that hole, and a bit of plastic on that hole. And it doesn't say on these things how long you need to leave them to dry, but to be on the safe side, I'm going to leave it overnight and then come back tomorrow when this is all dry, and we will then plant up our planter. Okay, let's leave this to dry overnight. And here I am back, a few days later actually, with the silicone completely sealed on the base of these pots. So let's plant them up. Now I'm going to fill up this pot, and you'll have noticed that there are no overflow holes on this particular pot. Now if I need them at a later stage, I'll judge, and I can always drill them in from the side, from outside. So I think if you're growing your Sarracenia in a small pot like this, overflow holes are less important. Right, so I'm putting in here a lot of the mix, and anyone who saw my repotting and dividing of Sarracenia video will remember that this is 50% horticultural sand and 50% moss peat, and if you want to know more about that, then do check out the other video. And here are some divisions of Sarracenia that I made in the last video. I'm going to choose the biggest and meatiest ones and pot them up in this container. Okay, so there's a decent clump, in it goes. These are all mixed Sarracenia, so I really can't tell you what's what. This one looks like it has Psittacina in its parentage. Not necessarily the best for a big pot display, but cute little things all the same. Okay. Aha! Here's a nice big clump. These of course have all been kept like wet. You can see they've been sitting in water to make sure that they don't dry out at all. So we need to make sure that these are buried to the same level that they were buried before. And that means that the rhizome should be slightly below the surface. And now for the second planter. Same procedure. Now the centerpiece for this second planter is going to be this beautiful leucophylla that I bought at the Tatton Park horticultural show last year when I went there with my friends. Oh, happy days. And leucophylla is a really beautiful Sarracenia that has fantastic markings. I've attempted to grow it outdoors before and not succeeded. I'm not sure if that's due to the hardiness or what, but I'm taking no chances with this new one. And what I'm going to do is put it in these pots, so that means that I can actually bring the pot into the greenhouse for the winter and just protect the plant like that. I'm just going to see if I can easily divide this, but I'm just going to have a look here and see if there are any kind of natural divisions. So we've got roots, which is always good. Always try and make sure you have roots with every division you take. This one seems to be potted in pure peat. And we do seem to have various crowns in there. You see that? And that. They do seem to be distinctive crowns. And I wonder, might this plant want to divide down the center like this? And yes, it does. Perhaps it was originally two plants, I don't know, but that is a very distinctive and discreet crown. This one here could actually be two. See, there seems to be something here and something there, so let's just see if I can divide it once more. Again, I don't want to do much damage. Now, this is joined, but maybe it'll just separate. Yeah. And both pieces have roots and a crown, so I think that is really good going. And now we're going to take these three pieces and have them as a centerpiece in this planter. And hopefully they'll bulk up in time. And now I'm backfilling, and I decided to not put anything else into this planter with the leucophylla so I don't get it mixed up with the other ones. And we will of course put the label in here as well. Oh, I can't bash this one off the table, it's too heavy. Never mind. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now, the only thing I will keep an eye on is that when it rains heavily, that the pot doesn't overflow, because I have no overflow holes. And if I find that to be the case, then I'll just drill from the outside just through here at the very top. Okay, and here are the planters, which I have put plastic pots inside to just raise the level up, and then my Sarracenia planter will go in here like this and sit on the plastic pot, and it looks good, doesn't it look really good? The final thing then, of course, is to give them a good watering in. And of course we're going to water with rainwater. Now I'm just going to let that settle a little bit, because as you recall, you know, the mix is quite dry and there are no holes in the pot, and then if it needs topping up, I will top up a bit more. And that brings me to the end of this video about potting up Sarracenia in these decorative pots, which I hope you enjoyed. And if I can tempt you at all to grow these magnificent plants outdoors in your garden, if you've a climate anything like me, then I will consider my job well done. Do check out my other Sarracenia videos if you're interested in these wonderful, wonderful plants with an amazingly long season of interest. Thank you as always for watching, and do check back for lots more gardening, plant, every kind of plant video. Bye!